The rain poured relentlessly as David tightened his jacket against the cold wind, pushing a squeaky grocery cart through the puddles. His 6-year-old daughter, Emily, tugged at his hand, her pink rain boots splashing with innocent delight. David glanced down at her, forcing a smile despite the weight of the unpaid bills and eviction notice in his pocket. "Daddy, look!" Emily pointed across the street to a sleek black car with its hazard lights blinking. A woman stood beside it, holding a phone and shivering under a flimsy umbrella, the unmistakable look of frustration and helplessness etched on her face. David hesitated. He was already running late for a job interview, his first in weeks. But then Emily's tiny voice piped up. She looked sad. "Maybe we can help." With a sigh, David nodded. "Let's go see, kiddo." They crossed the street, and David approached the woman, who looked up with a mixture of relief and apprehension. "Flat tire?" he asked. "Yes," she replied, brushing damp hair from her face. "I called roadside assistance, but they're taking forever, and I have an important meeting." David rolled up his sleeves. "No need to wait. I can change it for you." The woman blinked, startled. "Are you sure? It's pouring, and you're with your daughter." He cut her off with a reassuring smile. "It's no trouble. I've done this 100 times. Emily held the umbrella over her dad as he worked, chatting cheerfully with the woman. "My daddy's really good at fixing things. He says kindness is free, so we should share it with everyone." The woman chuckled, her tension easing. "You've got a smart kid there." In less than 15 minutes, the spare tire was on. David stood soaked but smiling. "You're all set." The woman opened her wallet, pulling out a crisp $100 bill. "Let me pay you for your trouble." David shook his head. "No need. Just happy to help." She looked at him curiously, noting the worn-out shoes, the patched jacket, and the small hand clutching his. "At least let me give you a ride. You're soaked." David hesitated. "We're headed to an interview, actually." "Then all the more reason." "Hop in," she insisted. Reluctantly, David agreed. During the drive, the woman introduced herself as Claire Anderson, and David recognized her name from local news. She was the CEO of a major tech company. But he said nothing, focusing instead on calming Emily, who was excitedly talking about the adventure. When they arrived at the small office building, Claire asked for his name and phone number. "In case I have another flat tire," she said. David handed her a scrap of paper, thanked her again, and rushed inside, not wanting to be late. 2 weeks passed. David didn't get the job, and the eviction notice loomed closer. He sat at the kitchen table, head in his hands, when his phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Hello? David, it's Claire Anderson. Do you have a moment to talk?" His heart raced. "Of course. I couldn't stop thinking about your kindness that day," Claire said. "I looked into your situation and found out you're an experienced mechanic. My company is opening a new branch, and we need someone trustworthy to lead the maintenance team. It's a salaried position with benefits. Interested?" David could barely breathe. "Are you serious?" "Very. And there's one more thing," Claire added. "I've set up a scholarship fund for Emily. She'll have the opportunity to go to any college she chooses when the time comes." Tears filled David's eyes as he stammered his thanks. A month later, David stood in front of his new team, wearing a crisp uniform with the company logo embroidered on it. Emily beamed from the break room, munching on a snack provided by the company daycare. As he walked to his car after his first successful day, David found a note tucked under the wiper blade. It read, "Kindness is free, but its impact is priceless. Thank you for reminding me of that. Claire." David looked up at the sky, the setting sun breaking through the clouds. His act of kindness had changed the course of his life, proving that sometimes the smallest gestures can create the biggest ripples. In that moment, he knew that no matter how tough life seemed, leading with a generous heart would always light the way forward.